Welcome to the Riskwiser Zone. I'm your host, Lewis. Our top story this morning comes from Canada, where Prime Minister Mark Carney has made some fascinating comments about his country's relationship with its southern neighbor, the United States. In a video message to Canadians, Carney stated that Canada's close ties with the U.S. have become a weakness. This is quite a shift in tone, considering the two nations have historically enjoyed a strong and mutually beneficial partnership. But with the current trade tensions and tariffs imposed by the Trump administration, it seems Carney is looking to diversify Canada's economy and reduce its reliance on the U.S. Now, we've seen this story unfold in various ways over the past few years, but what's interesting here is Carney's emphasis on Canadian sovereignty and his desire to take back control of the country's future. He's even gone so far as to praise historical figures who resisted U.S. expansionism, such as General Isaac Brock, who fought against the American invasion during the War of 1812. It's worth noting that this development comes at a time when Canada is set to review its trilateral trade agreement with the U.S. and Mexico. The U.S. has been pushing for significant changes to the pact, which could have far-reaching implications for Canada's economy. As we consider the potential consequences of this shift in Canada-US relations, it's essential to remember that both countries have a lot to gain from a strong partnership. However, with the current administration's America First approach, it seems Carney is taking a pragmatic stance, focusing on growing Canada's economy and defending its sovereignty. We'll be keeping a close eye on this story as it continues to unfold. In the meantime, we'd love to hear your thoughts on this development. Are you concerned about the potential impact on trade and investments between Canada and the U.S.? Do you think Carney's approach is the right one for Canada's future? We'll be right back with more from the world of stocks and finance on the Riskwiser Zone. Welcome back to the Riskwiser Zone, folks. We're diving into the world of finance and investments, where the only constant is change. Today, we're looking at two fascinating stories that highlight the complexities of the market. First, let's examine the Indian IPO landscape, which is expected to raise up to $25 billion in 2026, despite some caution from investors. According to Ranveer Davda, co-head of investment banking at HSBC India, while the number of deals may drop, the size and aggregate value are likely to remain similar to previous years. This is interesting because it shows that companies are still keen on tapping into the primary market, albeit with a more cautious approach. The likes of Reliance Industries' telecom arm Jio Platforms, National Stock Exchange, and Zepto are among the big names expected to hit the market in 2026. These large issuances could raise around 1 rupees lakh crore, or approximately 10.9 billion. On the other hand, we have the FMCG sector, where companies like Hindustan Unilever, Nestle India, and Britannia are expected to perform well, driven by robust demand and premiumization trends. The sector has been a consistent performer, with many stocks trading at all-time highs. However, as we always say on this show, past performance is not necessarily a guarantee of future success. It's also worth noting that the IPO market is becoming increasingly volatile, with companies needing to be more agile and flexible in their approach. As Davda mentioned, windows to complete trades will be shorter, so readiness is critical. This means that investors need to be prepared to act quickly when opportunities arise. Moving on, let's take a look at the broader market trends. The Sensex and Nifty have been trading in a range-bound manner, with investors keeping a close eye on global developments and economic data. As always, it's essential to stay informed and adapt to changing market conditions. In conclusion, the Indian IPO market is expected to remain robust, despite some caution from investors. Companies are becoming more flexible in their approach, and investors need to be prepared to act quickly when opportunities arise. The FMCG sector continues to perform well, driven by robust demand and premiumization trends. As we navigate these complex markets, it's essential to stay informed and adapt to changing conditions. Welcome back to the Riskwiser Zone. As we wrap up today's show, I want to shift our focus to some thought-provoking news from Ireland that highlights the complexities of public responsibility and ethical decision-making. Recently, the Taoiseach, Michael Martin, made a significant statement regarding public representatives providing character references for defendants in cases involving sexual exploitation or abuse. He emphasized that it's unacceptable for public figures to offer such references, especially when they fail to acknowledge the victim or the severity of the crime. This stance comes after a Court of Appeal case where a judge criticized the lack of mention of the victim and the nature of the offense in character references provided by several individuals, including a TD, for a defendant convicted of sexually exploiting a minor. Martin's comments underscore the importance of public representatives maintaining ethical standards and avoiding actions that could be perceived as insensitive or dismissive of victims' experiences. It's a critical reminder that those in positions of power have a responsibility to uphold the trust placed in them by the public and to prioritize justice and compassion, particularly in cases involving serious offenses. In another development, Martin also addressed the arrest of Daniel Kinahan in Dubai, noting that due process will take its course while welcoming the effective extradition arrangements between Ireland and the United Arab Emirates. This cooperation is seen as a positive step in global efforts to combat crime and ensure that justice is served across borders. As we consider these stories, it's essential to approach them with a balanced perspective, recognizing both the complexities of the situations and the need for ethical leadership. The intersection of public service, personal responsibility, and legal proceedings is intricate, and navigating these issues requires careful consideration and a commitment to fairness and justice. That's all for today's Riskwiser Zone. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, keep your finances in check.